Hello and a very good morning and welcome to this morning show team of with Revsportz. I'm Shubhayan Chakravarti joined by Bharat Ramraj. Bharat, IPL gave us not one but two centuries yesterday. We'll discuss both. We'll come to Virat Kohli later, but we should not forget that Henrik Klassen century. It was knockout from the top drawer.
Yeah, that was a wonderful innings. If someone who
Mm,
looks like a mini Dhoni to my eyes, his bat speed. I'm thinking about Dhoni at his peak.
mm.
The plays through the line, he picks the length really early. I think that's the key against spin bowling. So a lot of analysis go around. You see on Twitter, social media that you can't play off the back foot. That it's actually wrong because you see notice class and he played a lot of the back foot actually. But he was decisive in his back foot
Right.
movement. It was not like he was getting caught in the crease. That's the problem. Mistake many do is so if someone gets caught in the crease, they believe it's back foot play. That's not decisive back foot play. What we saw from Klassen was
Mm.
decisive back foot play, going right back and anything that was slightly short, it was pulling short jab, short time jabs, or if it was fuller, then obviously he was lofting it straight on the ground. That tells you he was really picking the length well. I think that is the funda behind how he played. But yeah, it was a great innings. Out of 186, he scored 104, and when he got out, it was something like 178 to score. So a lot
Right.
more than 50% runs, though he didn't open the innings. So he basically carried that SRH batting unit.
Right, 104, as you said, of 51 deliveries, 8 boundaries, 6 sixes, strike rate of 203. That's a staggering rate to score runs. But at the same time, Markram, of course, gave that much needed impetus in between. But what do you think about that top order of Sunrisers Hyderabad? The entire season, the story has been like this. They haven't been able to get going this entire tournament.
Yeah, we discussed this. When it doesn't go right, nothing goes right. So basically, that is what has happened. So Mike Agarwal, I believe, I think he's past it as far as IPL is concerned. He may get back into the Indian
Mhm.
Test team, but if you look at his performances on an overall basis, I think he doesn't seem like he can fit in. At least as of now, it doesn't seem like that. Then you have Tripathi who gets this at his best. He gets this decent score, but somehow it doesn't feel like he's that kind of a player who can consistently get to 80s, 90s at number
Mm.
three, 70s, 80s, and now 90s. So there isn't someone who can get those big scores. Harry Brook got that one big score. After that, nothing at the top of the order. Obviously, yesterday
Right.
itself too, he was trying to premeditate a lot, coming in at number five, moving over
Hmm.
to the leg side and trying to cross something that is curious to see because that's not exactly his game. At least doesn't hasn't done that in previous times. Seems to be premeditating a lot. So no one is really contributed at the top whenever they have played there. Mark Ramya coming in at four or something, yes, got those useful scores, but
Hmm.
top three, yeah, that is definitely.
Is Klassen the best current best Sena player of spin bowling?
Yeah, in T20 cricket, definitely. Don't know. I can't comment obviously on
Hmm.
Test cricket. With Test cricket, obviously, the defense will comment the question. T20 cricket definitely looks like, if not the best, at least one of the best two players going around because,
Hmm.
as I said, picks the length quickly, so that helps him to play all those shots. So that's the fun of
Right.
behind playing. Even if you look at Brian Lara is absolute best, the coach. Yeah, I'm not too sure early on when he scored all those runs in Murali Tharan. I watched that Sri Lanka West Indies Test series a little bit. It didn't seem like he was picking Murali Tharan early on, but once he got set, he was picking his Dusra and hitting him everywhere, wherever he wanted to. He was judging the length well.
Right.
So judge the length well. 95% of your work is done. That's what class is good as far as shot picking is concerned.
But at the same time, yes, it was a super knock by Klaasen. But at the same time, what do you think about the tactics from RCB to bowl Shahbaz Ahmed to Henrik Klaasen? He took him to cleaners.
Sure, perhaps I think it only went towards the matchup. They didn't see that it was Klaasen at the other end. They thought left arm spinner against right-handed batter. Odd one will bite. That also, that pitch was good for batting. Not too sure any of the deliveries from Shahbaz
Right.
was turning away from the right-hander, but it could be just going as per the rule book, strategy rule book, which obviously
Hmm.
may not make much sense. I can't see any other thing. Only the matchup thing that it's he's a right-hander and this guy is a left arm spinner.
Bharat, you have studied a lot of other right arm pace bowlers, left arm pace bowlers, pace bowling in general. But what do you have to say about Sunrisers Hyderabad's treatment of Umran Malik? Because when Aidan Makram was asked yesterday, he said, I don't know what's going behind the scenes. He praised Umran Malik for his pace and X Factor ability, but at the same time, he said he doesn't know what's going behind the scenes. Thoughts on that? And the entire general treatment of Umran Malik. He played the first 7 matches, picked up
Yes,
4 or 5 wickets, but then he was dropped straight away.
the last 3 4 seasons, you or I, not sure we can much about what is happening behind the scenes. So Sunrisers, even the captain himself doesn't know. So David Warner, the way they
Hmm.
treated him. Trevor Bailey saying something when he was with Sunrisers. David Warner saying something else. Something
Hmm.
doesn't seem to go well there in that camp. Yeah, Umran Malik, he has a lot of pace to the air. I still feel he would be at his absolute best if and when he plays Test cricket. Obviously, he has to get a little more of old ball swing or something like that. Yeah, he could have been used better
Hmm.
in the middle overs when the power play was not on. These things they could have done.
Hmm.
So yeah, as I said, once Umran Malik's point of view, if he has to bowl in the power play somewhere for 6 overs, whatever, inside 6 overs, then he has to
Hmm.
the look at getting this ability to swing the ball up front little bit. For
Hmm.
that, if he has to drop his pace by at least 5 kilometers per hour, let it be. That's if he has to ball in the power
Hmm.
play. Without swing, speedy fast bowler, it just comes on the back nicely, and in the power play, at least batters will just tonk him through the line. So this thing perhaps let's look at. But yeah, they could have used him better at least because his pace to the air, with pace to the air in the middle overs, they could have more so in the middle overs or whatever between 7 to 14, 15. You could have given them a few more wickets.
Pretty interesting because um I know, okay, Umran Malik's one can say that his economy rate this season has been on the higher side, 10.65 something. But last season also he conceded runs at 9.5. So that's not much a big difference. But I don't know. I don't know what's happening with Umran. Hopefully, the kind of talent he possesses. Even Tom Moody said yesterday on ESPN Cricket Info that there might be too many cooks in the kitchen. Yusuf Pathan slammed Hyderabad management for taking all the credit last season when he picked up 22 wickets, but now leaving him in the cold when he's not doing well. So very interesting dynamics of how things happen in Hyderabad unit, and hopefully, given the kind of rare talent
One,
Umran has.
there's one more thing I wanted
Yes,
to add
Bharat.
about that swing bowling. So, scientifically, there is something called a zero mark. So, there was this bowler called
Hmm.
Mike Hendrick from
Hmm.
England. He never, I think, never, just like McGrath, perhaps he might have swung it only 5 6 times in his entire career. So, he once
Hmm.
went to the scientist Mehta who studied swing bowling. Uh, but why I don't swing the
Right.
ball? So Mehta said you are at zero mark. Zero mark means he's basically bowling at
Hmm.
81, 82 mph. So at that speed, you won't be able to swing. In the
Right.
same way, higher speed would be perhaps somewhere around 80, 89, 90 mph. Something like
Hmm.
once or few times Stein might have bowled at that pace and swung. I've seen Anderson do it in New Zealand way back when he was bowling quick in 2000. eight or something. When he swung the ball, it took 7 for 43 or whatever. He was at 88, 89. He was touching. That's basically the zero mark for the higher end and one for the lower
Mm.
end. So that is something. I'm just telling it from Umran Malik's perspective. If he has to look at any kind of improvement from here, if he can reduce his pace a little bit, I'm only thinking about new ball. Then he might be able to swing
Mm.
the ball a little more.
Pretty interesting observations. But I don't know. I don't know about him swinging the ball. I think his best weapon is pace, and yes, he might go for runs sometimes. And whenever people say Umran runs, I think about short date because he used to go for runs, but he won Australia T20 World Cup
Yeah,
with his pace and
swung the ball
yeah.
up. He has went for a lot of runs, but he swung the ball. But Umran Malik doesn't. Yeah, I will give it to you. He swung it three times. That's what I
Hmm.
watched. In
Right.
2021, he swung it three times. Uh, from whatever I watched. So just from
Hmm.
his perspective, only if he can add this weapon, the Sunrisers are going to make him again and again bowl sometimes with the power play. This will, I think, help him. This is something I think
Let's see what the.
Bharat Tarun also said
Mhm.
that he has to
Yeah.
look at getting a little more of swing with a conventional swing. I'm thinking.
Hmm. Interesting. Let's see what the future holds for Umran Malik. One match to go for Hyderabad, whether he gets the chance or not, it remains to be seen. But then came a storm which blew away Sunrisers Hyderabad. Faf du Plessis and Virat Kohli stitched a 172-run knock opening partnership, out of which Faf scored 71 of 47, and a player named Virat Kohli scored 100 of 63 balls. A century after 4 years. Same date, Bharat?
Same date, some other century it was. I think 7 years ago, I guess. Yeah.
Ah.
Whatever it is, yeah, see, perhaps more than strong, it seemed like a very persistent train. Just
Hmm.
persistent. They just paced the innings really well because they knew, I guess, 187 on that pitch. Yesterday,
Hmm.
the pitch seemed like a good one. That it was perhaps
Hmm.
15, 20 run short. That which I think Mohammad Siraj was last over did the trick, but he gave some only 4 runs away. So they paced the innings
Right.
really well. And Kohli obviously even at his peak, even now is still even now a master at pacing the innings. And
Hmm.
RCB, somewhere you feel at some point in one match you feel these three Duplessis, Kohli and Maxwell might fail together somewhere in the playoffs if they get through. That's their one problem
Yeah.
I'm seeing. If they somewhere fail, if the opposition takes their chances, for example, yesterday, as you know, Duplessis was once dropped, if I'm not mistaken, then another one turned out
Four
to be no
times?
ball. Yeah, yeah, a few times he was dropped, and then he was,
Yeah.
and there was a no ball as well, I guess. What I saw,
Yeah.
the no ball. So a few times he was dropped and no ball as well. So somewhere you feel if luck runs out, yeah, you make your own luck, but somewhere if it runs out, three of them get out, then dependent on Lomrar, Bracewell, Shabazz, and all these guys. So Anuj Rawat, the king of RCB. So all these guys are dependent on. So interesting to see how it goes. But they have the momentum, little bit of momentum. These three are, especially Duplessis Cole is scoring a lot of runs. I saw something like
Hmm.
they scored together 760, 770 runs this season. 870, I guess. Even more than Barristo and Warner did for SR in a couple of few seasons ago. So they're really still
Hmm.
doing this, scoring a lot of runs. Interesting to see how they go in the last match, which obviously would be at home.
But the qualifiers and eliminators being in Chepauk, do you think that will hamper RCB's chances because the pitch is a bit
Yes.
sluggish, not the best batting track?
Again, it depends. Some of the matches, yeah, last match we saw CSK, they definitely they prepared a turning track. You expect them to
Hmm.
the CSK going to play there, then definitely expect them to prepare a turning track there. I'm just hypothesis. I'm doing all these things, so they're going to prepare a turning track for a team like RCB. Interesting to see how the conditions would go because, as you know, I think my Maxwell is a pretty decent sprinter. Duplessis can do it. Uh, we have heard about long runs, spin hitting abilities once or twice. He shows then
Right.
his career like that out of 16 matches, 14 or 16 matches he plays. And every season is does well in two rest what he doesn't do. So interesting to see how it will
Right.
go because CSK have Thik Sana and all these guys.
Absolutely, but it will be something if RCB qualifies. They are still not. They still don't have that queue in front of them. But let's see whether they get it in the coming match or not. Bharat is hopeful. Bharat is hopeful. Bharat is saying we'll get it.
Hypothetical, I said.
But thoughts on today's match, Punjab versus Rajasthan. Rajasthan, if they win, they have a better net run rate, so that will help them a lot. Thoughts on today's match?
Yeah, Punjab, I think the chances are seem like slim. I know mathematical equations would be done, this and that, but they need a really crushing win, as you know. So Royals have the better chance, but both teams they don't have the momentum. Yeah, one team has to win in the end, but they don't have the momentum either team.
Hmm.
Interesting to see how Royals go about it. Obviously, they need Jaiswal and Butler somewhere to fire at the top. That would really reduce a lot of the burden. Then Hetmeyer's and Jurels can take over and hit some runs. The bowling too has had an issue or two the last some games. So interesting to see how this match pans out.
But a big pressure match for Rajasthan Royals. Your prediction today? Who do you think?
Sitting here at yeah, I guess it won't be a spoil sport. Maybe RR will come out on top. Yes.
But you never know what happens.
Yeah.
We have seen crazier, we have seen crazier things in IPL. So let's see what happens. But Bharat says Rajasthan Royals. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. But Bharat, thank you so much for joining. It was a fun chat as always. No football today, so no Champions League discussion. But yes, we saw yesterday Rafael Nadal pulled out of Roland Garros. Uh, Unfortunate, but hopefully he has that last dance in him.
Yeah, with him, you're never sure. He says sometime, once he said, probably I might retire next year. Then he said,
Hmm.
someone said, next year would be your last bench offer or something like that. You want to win. He said, who knows? He said, with him, never sure. But his problem, as you know, as you get older, 37, his problem is something that doesn't go soon because we saw with Andy Murray as well. He has had a metal hip now in his body. He plays with a metal hip. So hopefully, from his point of view, he will come back because I think he still has the game. Even in his three losses, two losses in the United Cup he played before the Australian Open. There are
Right.
times when he showed flashes of this world brilliance, but again, the screws or the nuts and bolts tended to get loose after that flashes of brilliance. So he needs more games. He has to come back and play. Obviously, his ranking now will go down. If he comes back as well, his ranking would go down to some 150 or something. If he comes back in October, summer, saying he might try to come back for the Davis Cup match in September. So when if he comes back at the time, his ranking would be something like 150. So he perhaps needs a few wild cards as well. So not going to be easy. Let's see.
Let's see. Hope for the best for Rafael Nadal because he deserves a last dance at least. And injury is something which has always hampered his career. But let's see when he makes his comeback. But thank you, Bharat. It was a fun chat as always, and have a great day ahead. Thank you so much to all our viewers for watching this, and we'll be back again on Monday, Saturday, Sunday, no morning show. So we'll be back on Monday, and by then hopefully we'll have Rohan back. We'll have Rohan back, and we'll come up with the IPL playoff scenario will be clear by then. So we'll discuss that. So thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.